So maybe if I just start off with a short icebreaker question, maybe if you could tell us a little about your role or your experience in the industry.
Okay, basically it dates back to about 82, 83 when I first started in the insurance world within an insurance company in Johannesburg called the Mutual, which is no longer in existence, but that's not my fault. Yeah, very much on the insurance surveying side, which is the looking at buildings, assessing risk at the time for various things: fire, safety, security, liability, plant and machinery breakdown, critical path. Then went for insurance brokers, and then specialist risk management companies, and then just developed and gained experience that way. So very much of thinking on your feet and gathering experience as I went through.
Great. So is it okay if we move on to the next question? So David, what are some of the elements that make up a successful risk management program?
I think the first thing is commitment. Commitment from the organisation, which starts at the top, from the chief executive, getting buy-in from the chief executive. Now, obviously, before he or she can do that, they need to understand the benefits of it. So, big thing is communicating the benefits of a risk management program for the organisation, not just for individual teams or individual people, but looking at it holistically for the organisation. Commitment from the chief executive, which then filters down to the director level. If you look at local authority where you have director level, and then through to managers. But all the time communicating the benefits, looking at risk and opportunity for the organisation.
Great. So obviously once you have that risk management plan in place, I guess the next step is how do you, keep it in place and make sure that it maintains effective for the future.
Yeah.
So what strategies are you using, or can organisations use to make sure that it does, remain effective?
Yeah. Each organisation is different, but in our case, it's having a constant review of the risks pertaining to the organisation. No organisation is static for very length of time. Risks evolve. You have your strategic risks, which are governed by, in our case, our promise to the ratepayers through annual plans, 3-year plans and 10-year plans. Even a strategy for 2040, which has just been released. So we're governed by what we've promised to the ratepayer, but from an operational point of view, governing, looking at risks as they pertain on a monthly basis. So our risk registers are looked at monthly from the ELT, Executive Leadership Team, and they're assessed from there. But again, they're changing all the time. So it's a constant upgrading, constant messaging, constant communicating with the various teams from both strategic and operational levels.
Great, and I was just on the theme of future, as maybe, I don't know if you can answer this question if it's too broad, but if they're just looking into the future, do you think that there's, what would be the next big thing or a theme that would occur in the future, or that you think would change the industry at all?
Changing the industry
or change the risk, the approach?
Looking at the risk profile going forward in future thinking, and really more lateral thinking of what risks are now emerging. We certainly have a number of those. We have natural catastrophe. And in Auckland or New Zealand in general, we just had the Christchurch earthquake, so that's very much top of mind at the moment. People are very much on edge, not just in Christchurch, but for the rest of the country as well. It is a small country. And we're in Auckland surrounded by 50 volcanoes. And I think the events of Japan with the tsunami coming through, Christchurch, even in Australia where we've had floods and fires, that's very much top of mind at the moment. So that's one risk we have to take into account. We've got global warming, increasing the height of the sea. We're doing some future planning on that at the moment. Certainly how that could affect our coastal regions. In Auckland alone, we have 3,700 kilometres of coastline. So it's very important that we're able to foresee, albeit academically, how the rise in sea level can affect the Auckland region. We have the global economic market, with Europe going through major change at the moment with Greece and Spain possibly defaulting. We have to look at the economic climate, how that could affect the Pacific Rim areas, including Australia and New Zealand. Australia specifically, because whatever happens in Australia will affect New Zealand in time as well. So we're very conscious of that. Yeah.
glad I asked that question. It's a very
Good one.
interesting answer.
Yeah.
And also, David, how have you used or are you using technology to communicate your risk management approach throughout your organisation, and what do you think the benefits?
Oh, we have a very large organisation with 8,500 people now. It's really impossible to go and see each one individually. What we're doing at the moment is strategizing. We don't have anything in place at the moment. I wish we did. Certainly looking at how we can communicate really with ELT, the executive leadership team, the senior leadership team, and senior managers regarding risk management. And part of that will be having online training, online risk assessments, and dashboards for individual managers, for senior managers, so they can see what their risks are on a day-to-day basis in real time. We're seriously looking at that very strongly. We need to be able to put the risks back into the manager's hands and not rely on just the risk management team to do that. So we're very conscious of technology, the advances in technology, and we're really wanting to use that. Yeah.
Great. And just lastly, if you have a quick answer to what maybe a highlight's been so far. I know it's early on in the conference.
Yeah.
And the value of maybe speaking or attending the event.
Oh, I know it's only lunchtime on the first day, but the quality of three of the speakers that we've had this morning have been fantastic, and just the variety of topics has been really good. I think what is coming through though is a common theme that risk management is a very strong motivator in business, and a very worthwhile one. Certainly with the spread of delegates and the number of delegates you have on this conference, which is far greater than we would have in New Zealand, it just demonstrates that very keen interest that people have in making risk management work and making it want to work, and listening just to the experiences and of the speakers and how they're working in their own organisations. And I think there'll be a lot of networking following this with lessons learned.